Okay, so first what we'll do is we'll grab all the coefficients down here. And so let's see, 1, 1, -1, -2. You can draw that line right there if you want. 3, -1, 1, 14. And then -1, 5, -4, and 1. So first thing we're going to do is zero those out. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to multiply -3 by row 1 and add that to row 2. And that will be my new row 2. And then I'm going to also take row 1 and add it to row 3. And that will be my new row 3. And that will zero that out. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first row is all going to be the same. So then I'm going to multiply here by -3 and add to that middle row. So that will turn that to 0. See, that would become -3 plus 1 is -4. That would become +3 plus 1 is +4. And then that would become +6 plus 14, which would be 20. And then now we're going to add row 1 with row 3. So that'll give us a 0 there. That'll give us 6. That'll give us -5. And that will give us -1. Okay, our next step will be to zero out the 6 right here. And, well, before I do that, actually, to make my life easier, I could do that with row 2. Um, but actually, you want to turn this into a 1 first, actually. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to divide row 2 by -4, and that'll be my new row 2. So let me go ahead and come down here and we'll do that. All right, so the first and third row is going to stay the same. Then divide everything here by -4. So 0, +1. Then this will turn to -1. That will turn to a -5. And then the bottom is the same. Okay, now we'll go ahead. That'll make this much easier. And that's what I should have done anyways. We'll go ahead and turn that into a 0 right there. So I'm going to have to multiply the row 2 by -6, and then we'll add that to row 3, and that will be my new row 3. Okay. Trying to give, oh, there we go. A little bit more room. All right. So here we go. Okay. So doesn't affect the first one because it's a 0. And then -6 times 1 is -6. Add to 6, that's 0. Multiply this by -6, which would be +6. Add that to -5, that'd be +1. Multiply this by -6, that'd become +30. Add to -1, which would be +29. Okay, so now that we have it in this format, we're going to convert it back to where we have our variables. So we're going to have x1, or I think they use x, y, and z actually. Let me make sure. Yeah. Sometimes they'll call them x1, x2, x3, but we're using x, y, and z. So x plus y minus z equals -2. Y minus z equals -5. And then z equals 29. So the next part is doing back substitution. And so see, we already know what z is, and so we can plug it back into the second one, figure out what y is, and then once we know that, we'll plug it in for both of those, and we figure out what x is. So let's see, we're going to have y minus 29 equals -5, and then we're going to add 29 to both sides. And so we're going to get y equals, what was that, 24? Okay, so now we have 2 of them, so now we're going to plug it into the first one. So let's see, x plus 24 minus, so minus is part of it, so put the minus, and then 29 equals -2. And so let's see, we'll simplify this. 24 take away 29 is -5. And then we'll add 5 to both sides. So we end up with x equals 3. So now we have all of them, and they want you to put it as an ordered pair. So x goes first, then y, and then z. Okay, so I hope that helps you out.